Throughout horror history, there has only been one name that stood above all else. One name who even the biggest horror movie buffs will fear. This name is only known as Stephen King. Known only to the entity and the survivors as the author. Stephen King has been known to make some of the biggest horror movie names in all time. But his two biggest were The Shining and It. With these two especially big franchises, Stephen King has seen massive success. The author's work has always sprung fear into the hearts of many. However, there was one thing that loved his power to create even the most terrifying things of all time. More than anything in the world, the entity. With the entity's ability to travel between dimensions and time, it was able to grab one of the most powerful killers of all time. It. A being simply known as It. But he prefers Pennywise. One day, the entity found Pennywise after his defeat to the losers. So, they struck a deal. All Pennywise has to do is become a killer in the trial, and let himself become weakened just enough to give the survivors some hope. But, in exchange, the entity would allow it to take as many lives as it wished, and feed off their fear as much as they wished. Of course, it accepted. With an offer like this, how could it refuse? And thus, the deadly alliance between it and the entity was born. Pennywise's power is flavorful fear. At the start of the trial, all survivors will have the objective of repairing generators, like normal. However, Pennywise starts off with some interesting buffs. You see, Pennywise's power revolves around him catching survivors off guard and instilling fear into others. Pennywise gains fear by creating hallucinations and transforming into different forms, whatever that survivor fears. You can gain fear passively by attacking survivors with another survivor nearby, snuffing out spoons, and of course, removing any tool that the survivors have. For instance, breaking a pallet. But you can also gain fear actively by changing and teleporting. Balloons can be placed anywhere in the trial, but only 3 balloons at a time. These balloons can be popped, but will cause a loud sound that alerts you to the survivor's presence whilst giving them half a stack of fear. But to gain more fear, you can teleport to these balloons, alerting the survivors of your presence. Once you have 5 stacks of fear, the next time you down a survivor, you can mini-mori them. But Pennywise isn't all about balloons. Pennywise can also use funhouse trickery, casting some fake hallucinations all throughout the trial. For instance, if a survivor starts regressing a generator by accident, blood will spew out of it, adding some fear. Casting fake terror radiuses upon an object, casting more fear. And of course, Pennywise's ultimate move, projecting himself as a survivor only to attack at the last possible second. Because to Pennywise, the food doesn't taste good unless it's properly seasoned with fear. Perks work a little differently in Dead by Daylight 2. Every killer has 3 unique ones just like before, except now only they can equip them. Only the killer who has these perks currently can equip them, and only one at a time. In exchange, they are extremely powerful. Pennywise is no exception. Tremble in fear before Pennywise with Circus of Fear. Whenever Pennywise creates a fake hallucination, Circus of Fear activates. If a survivor becomes too comfortable around one of these hallucinations, aka stays around them for too long, then Circus of Fear will activate its effect, causing hallucinations like the fake Pennywises to attack. Not only dealing a health state, but gaining 3 stacks of fear instead of 1. However, this only activates if a survivor stays around a hallucination for too long, roughly 30 seconds. Make sure they have no way to escape. Get rid of hope at the last second with Backfire. Once all the generators are fixed, Backfire activates. If a survivor is hooked while an exit gate has any progress on it, the exit gate will backfire with tremendous force, losing most of its progression whilst causing the survivor who is currently working on it to become incapacitated for 12 seconds. More than enough time for Pennywise to get to work. Keep survivors in the dark, and let them know no mercy with the deadlights. This trump card can only be used when survivors complete all generators. But when it's active, Pennywise can release the deadlights from within him. Any survivor who witnesses the deadlights within the 12 seconds that they're active will become fully terrified, having all stacks of fear at once. They will also become immobilized with a new effect, simply known as immobile, with an effect known simply as petrified. When a survivor is petrified, they are too scared to move, leaving Pennywise with a free meal. Add-ons are very important to the killer's kit, and are still very much a thing in Dead by Daylight 2. However, survivors will be notified when they're in play, so be wary. Starting off with brown add-ons. Striped shirt. Any survivor within your terror radius will passively gain fear for 1/5 of a second. For 1/5 of their total fear. before they become fully, but can't become fully terrified this way. Handcuffs. Whenever a survivor dispels or survives a hallucination, they will gain no fear, but their aura will be revealed. Misery. Whenever a survivor completes a generator, the furthest progressed generator will backfire. Finally, for Brown, we have vintage tire. Whenever Pennywise teleports, survivors will scream, revealing their location. Yellow add-ons. Losers cast. Any survivor who shoots you with a weapon will gain fear passively once they realize that it doesn't work. Up your stun resistance to 85%. Murder. Missing children's poster. Whenever a survivor is fully terrified, their aura is revealed to you. Silver bullet. When a survivor becomes terrified, they will scream out. Green add-ons. Deadly parasite. Survivors who are close to being terrified will still scream, but will have their auras revealed. Charlie the Choo Choo. Any survivor who gets too close to your hallucinations will passively gain terrified over the course of 3 seconds. However, cannot be fully terrified this way. Goblin Mask. Hallucinations who attack will inflict the mangled and hemorrhage status effect. Purple add-ons. Trapper's Trap. At the start of the trial, disguise yourself as the trapper. You can place down a total of 3 bear traps, but nothing else. Survivors will be alerted to the trapper's presence. However, once you attack someone with a basic attack, you will reveal your true form and all survivors gain 1 stack of Terrify. Plague Legion button. Start the trial disguised as a Legion. Feral Frenzy up to 1 time. Again, attack with a basic attack and you are revealed. War Poster. Start the trial disguised as the Horror. Have a total of 1 flamethrower charge. Immediately lose your disguise after basic attack. Iridescent add-ons. Georgie's Boat. Survivors who pop the balloons will have blood gushed over their face, gaining 2 stacks of Terrify instead of 1. Iridescent balloon. Balloons now gain passive effects, depending on where they're placed. If next to a window, that window will be blocked. Next to a pallet, the pallet will be lifted. The pallet will stay upright, no matter what. And if placed next to a generator, survivors' progression speeds will be slowed significantly. All these effects go away once a balloon is popped. Popping a balloon is now faster and no longer gains any Terrify. New survivor, Danny Torrance. Danny was once an innocent young child, but after his time in the Overlook Hotel, when his father tried to murder his mother and himself, had turned to helping others using his newfound powers of the Shining. However, after binge drinking, he had lost touch with what made him so special. One day, when helping a patient, he found some weird drawings of a clown that he had never seen before. As he went to investigate, he was engulfed in a black fog and brought to the trials. Danny comes with a unique ability and introduces a new class into the trial. That class being the Psychic class. The Psychic comes with 3 passives, all having to do with aura reading. Bond. Whenever a survivor is nearby, you can see their aura. Empathy. Whenever a survivor is injured, you can see their aura. And finally, object of obsession. If you're ever the obsession, you can reveal the killer's aura with a simple button press. However, the killer will also see your aura if you do this. Danny comes with one unique power that is exclusive to him: Shining. Whenever this power is off cooldown, which is roughly every 60 seconds, Danny will activate the Shining. He can choose to look over the progress of survivors, or he can choose to look at the killer. This will not reveal his aura. However, this ability only works for 30 seconds, and you can only choose one. So choose wisely. Danny can also heal much faster, as he is someone who is in the progress of healing those mental states. Survivors also get one little trick against Pennywise. If they ever gain a stack of fear, all they need to do is calm themselves by either attacking Pennywise or by hiding in a locker, in which case their fear stacks will slowly go down. Anyway, guys, that was my take on a Stephen King chapter of Dead by Daylight. In case you're wondering, my idea for a Stephen King map would be the Overlook Hotel, but I'm not sure about the specifics yet. I get that the add-on section was pretty sloppy, but I am more proud of this one than my horror video. So please let me know how I can improve in the comments below. And if you have any other ways of including Pennywise, then please also let me know. I am sure that you can come up with something much better than me. I'm just starting to get some discussions going. Also, do you like my changes made on the fundamentals of the sequel? I wanted this to stand out from the original Dead by Daylight in many more ways. Plus, it was inspired by the amazing 2 versus 8 mode. Just hopefully it won't have as long of queue times. I also loved the idea of classes, but I wanted it to be a little bit more special. So I added some new classes. The first one is the Sidekick, as you can tell. And because it's so early on, it's going to be a little rough. But hey, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, I've been the Gamer Nerd, and, well, sleep tight. And whatever you do, don't let Pennywise bite.